Welcome to the Dr. Erin Show. May you live your truth. Live from Los Angeles, we come together each morning to know the truth, live on spiritual principle, and align with universal law. We also come together as a community through Soulciety. We are committed to enlightenment, empowerment, and entrepreneurship. That's right. It's important for us to bring the truth out to the world through all of our expressions. So you can check out soulciety.com or drerin.tv and check it on out. So today, let's talk about the ego. So when I'm working with clients or when we're dealing with awakening, basically first, it's important to really just open our eyes, to wake up, to take a look and see how our consciousness, which is the individual consciousness, the collective consciousness, and the cosmic consciousness, is creating everything. We are powerful, powerful spiritual beings, and really understanding, awakening to all the truths of how we manifest, what truth is, all these things. And then we get down to basically reprogramming, and we begin to delayer the consciousness. So it's not really, the core work is to get out of the way. And the ego is an interesting thing, because if you think about it, ego is a state of mind. Ego is basically feeling like you're divided or you are the individual. And that is the ego. The ego feels separate. It is in the consciousness, with a blink of consciousness, that you can experience being one with the entire universe and really living in the highest expression of yourself. So ego, literally, think about it. Arianna Huffington said, "We spend so much time on those resume entries. We lose all significance as soon as our heart stops beating. None of it matters, you guys. The point is that our business development is really our spiritual development. And if we're looking out to the world to basically look for our self-worth, we're screwed." I'll never forget, I had this client, so I went up to his house, and we were sitting overlooking this spectacular view. I mean, it was like literally a 360-degree view, because he lived like up on this mountaintop between Santa Barbara and Montecito, and this gorgeous home that had these sliding doors that the entire side of the house opened up. And it was an epic, I mean, one of the best views I've ever seen in my life. Like literally magazine worthy of one of the most beautiful views and homes. So my client, the first time I went up there, he gave me a tour of the whole house, showed me how all the windows open, all this stuff. And then we sat down in these two chairs out. They were kind of perched out over, kind of out beyond the house. And we're looking out at this incredible view. And then he slowly began to open up to me, and he looked at me and he said, "Look, the funny thing is that I don't even look at this home anymore as anything special. I literally just relate work and isolation now to this home. And I really don't care anymore about all this stuff. It doesn't matter anymore." He looked at me and he said, "I realize I've got to do something." He said that he had this feeling like it was like this empty void, just like pain inside of him. And it would go away every once in a while when he drank, or when he went, golfing, or when he went on a little trip or whatever, or bought the next item. But it would return over and over. And the external things that used to give him pleasure, maybe they'd last for a little while, but now he found that basically it was like less and less time. He'd go back to that bottomless pit every time. He had a thriving business. His children were, raised. He was all like, quote, quote, successful. And he was miserable inside. And this is the deal. I've worked with, celebrities. I've worked with single mothers. I've worked with CEOs. I've worked with children. I've worked with all kinds of people. And the reality is this, is that the ego is tricky. It's really tricky. We have been told by the movies, by our families, by the culture, that we will be fulfilled and have this American dream life. But I'm going to tell you that anytime we look outside for our own identity, we look outside for our joy, we look outside for love, we look outside for abundance, we will be slammed down every last time. Every last time. The trick to all of it is play a fun game that's up to something big, like making a difference in people's lives or really pushing yourself in your own development. But it's also not having attachment to any of it. And that's the fine line. That's the fine dance of the ego. The ego wants you to attach. It wants you to feel superior or less than or different or separate or da-da-da-da-da. The ego is tricky. It is your greatest enemy because it's going to mess with you over and over and over again. So I have two questions for you. Two questions that I've pondered for a very long time. Why is it that some people manifest everything they think they want and become more miserable than ever? And then also the question for you is, in your heart, what does success mean to you? You know, a lot of us, like we did the right things. We went to the right schools. We got the right job. We got the right relationship. We, got the right house. We got the right clothes. We got whatever. And yet it's still like never, ever, ever enough. So I kind of see two types of people. I see people who have literally, they look like they're so successful and they're miserable inside. I mean, of course, I meet people that are happy as well, for sure, but dealing with clients, right? The other is people who are like, they are literally like have so much talent and so much to give the world, but they can't figure out how to get that money or get that, relationship or get whatever. And they're trying so hard and they feel like if I just had that, then I'll be happy. Then I'll be fulfilled. Then I'll be enough. And the trick is that both of these spectrums of what I would consider unawake and haven't done the work, it literally is one and the same. It's just literally, you're just like, you've just inverted the law and you're just using it different. But so there's two questions, why do some people manifest everything and still be miserable? Why can some people cannot manifest and are miserable? And then questioning and really pondering. Today, I invite you to ponder, what is success to you? The truth is that you're an infinite divine spiritual being, and you do desire love and connection. It's in our nature. But we have to know that the body has this intelligence. The body knows at a gut level in the solar plexus this thing called intuition. It knows. It knows when it is doing something out of a void. It knows when it is authentic. It knows when it's living out of trying to be enough or when it's coming from a space of just purely self-expression. And so I invite you to ask yourself today, why are you doing what you're doing? Is it coming out of a pure, authentic expression, or is it coming out of trying to feel like you're enough? Listening to that gut. So today's universal law is the law of divinity. And this states that you are a spiritual being governed by the universal laws. The extent to which you unite with the indwelling divine source and expand your consciousness is the extent to which you will experience divinity and being a revealer of truth. Your true identity is a divine expression of the one. You are capable of divine revelation. This is your nature. And tapping into that truth. So today's challenge is to lean in. Lean in where you're uncomfortable. Open your heart. Open yourself to something beyond what you think the culture has told you to do. What is it that you would do if no one's looking? And so the daily spiritual practice is really being authentic. That's the practice. Listening, constantly listening to your own gut, to your own needs, to your own intuition of what you really need to do to be fulfilled. What it is that you need to do to be expressed. So the question is, what if you leaned in today in all areas of your life, giving your heart unconditionally and unboundedly? What if you walk through life not needing any validation, not needing to be liked, not needing to be accepted by anyone? Can you imagine? That'd be so cool. What if you gave love even when you didn't feel like it was reciprocated? Try that one on. What if you gave love even when you didn't feel that it was reciprocated? And then what if you stayed in your divine connection instead of being divided? What if you didn't withdraw? What if you gave yourself fully to life? What would that look like? And so on this day, the ego, it's simple. Your consciousness, your perspective is either feeling like you're divided and separate and something's wrong and something's missing, or you have switched into the divine truth and tapped into that oneness and allowing yourself to fully give yourself to life and lean in. So on that note, may you live your truth. Thanks again for tuning in to Dr. Erin and Soul Society podcast. I'd like to invite you to write a review on iTunes. Also, I have a free gift for you, a money meditation and worksheet, which you can find at soulciety.com. That's www.soulciete.com. Or 30 guided meditations at drerin.tv. That's www.drerin.tv. We also hold monthly Soul Society events that are all about transformation and building extraordinary community. You can also watch me live daily on goodmorninglalaland.com or Instagram at drerin.tv. Grab your free manifestation masterclass with the purchase of my international best-selling book, Awakening, a 40-day guide to unleashing your spiritual powers, life purpose, and manifesting your dreams at erinfallhaskell.com/awakening book.